Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about opportunities that present themselves in a recession and how you can become wealthy, rich, how you can build a portfolio, buy assets in a recession. Many people seem to think the opposite, that in a recession is panic mode. You have to depend on the government to bail you out. You have to depend on a job to keep you and save you from the crashing economy. We're going to be talking about things that you should be looking at during a recession, non-fear bias, just strict facts and the opportunities that there are. Um, we didn't really see a recession, so to say, even though it was a technical recession, I believe, during that 2022 drop in the stock market, for instance, a couple years back. But there was a lot of opportunities in that. I remember, Kirby, 2022, 2023, we saw, a pullback in the market, in both markets, in stock market and real estate. And because interest rates were increasing, and we always heard people talking about interest rates are too high, don't buy anything, don't go out into the world, like basically become a little hermit. But those were some good buying times for, I know, for you and for me, and a lot of wealth was built out of that for the both of us. So what are your thoughts on, you know, people buying in a recession? I know you now have experience in, one, possibly two recessions. So what are your thoughts on all of this?
Now, first, one thing to get out there is the stock market and the economy are two separate things. I want to put that out there first. The stock market and economy is the stock market really don't even represent the economy. Um, so yeah, in 2022, when the market was going down, Alex, you remember talked about in the Discord when Jerome Powell was at Jackson Hole in November of 2021. He said interest rates is about to rise and people are going to feel pain. He warned everybody, but of course, most of America don't pay attention to the financial news. Um, but so it proceeded to from in 2022, I proceeded to go all in on the market while it dropped for the most part all the way into October of 2022. So from January 2022 to October 2022, I was throwing money in the stock market like it was going on fire. And then of course 2023, we reaped the benefits of it. Yeah, they technically said, I think it was 2022 or 2020, yeah, 2022, that we technically hit a recession because we had two negative quarters of GDP, technically. But of course, the news media spent it. I'm not going to say the reason why they spent it that way, but in the history of America, two negative quarters of GDP equaled a recession. But this time it didn't. But didn't matter to me because I was already investing and I was investing heavy. And then, like you said, wealth was built on our part in the real estate game and in the stock market based on that. So, with that, the recession itself is the optimal time. Will people go broke during a recession? Yes. Yes, they will. But the people that goes broke during a recession are the people who was buying at the wrong time. People that buy during your euphoric moments. If you're buying, if you was buying during 2023, let's just talk about real estate. If you're a real estate investor and you buying a list price in 2023 with high interest rates, recession happen, you're in trouble. It's just plain and simple like that. That's what it is. Those are the people that gets in trouble. People that don't understand. People that's bad operators. They will be in trouble during a recession. Like the Florida market. Now the insurance rates has risen 200, 300%. I have not been affected personally because the insurance rates. I mean, because I operate. I don't just sit there and be like, okay, whatever y'all want to do to me, y'all do to me. I operate. I figure out ways to lower the costs in different areas. You know, I operate in giving a premium product to my tenants so they're willing to stay at a higher rate. And the rates that I charge for rent is nowhere near the market rates or the obscene rates that people are charging here in the state of Florida, just to give you a reference point. But the key to it all was I didn't sit there and buy and pay list price just because that was the number on the sticker price. I actually did my due diligence. I actually knew what the cost was. I actually knew the numbers. I actually knew how to pencil a deal to make it make sense, to give me enough, to factor in property management, maintenance, vacancy rate, increased insurance, and things of that nature, and still provide a premium product. That's how I do all my deals, because I'm not letting a variable cost be the thing that takes me out of a deal. I'm not sitting here doing, arm loans and things like that where I gotta sit there paying a bank or somebody some obscene rate or balloon payment at the end of 2 or 3 years. Those are the ways that 30-year fixed debt is how it gets done. 30-year fixed debt is how it gets done. But you got people with bridge loans, you got people with all kind of different devices to make it look good right now. But of course, they don't know what's going to happen in the future, especially here in Florida. The insurance rates is not going down whatsoever. Those are the people that will suffer during a recession. But somebody suffering is somebody else's gain. Just like in the stock market. When the stock market goes down and all these people sold for a loss, some people are going to lose, but their loss is somebody else's gain. So you have to be the one that to ensure that you're gaining. And the only way that you can ensure you're gaining, and people always use this term, Alex, I know they tell you this, oh man, you got that house for that price, or you caught this dip, you so lucky. Luck is when preparation meets opportunity. So it didn't matter. The only reason why you caught that deal at that time, at that price, is because you had the capital sitting aside to catch that deal. You had the money sitting on the sidelines to catch that stock drop. I remember when you caught Dutch Bros at that I've seen dip on the earnings and then it just rallied like 30, 40%. But if you didn't have any capital and you seen it, you just a bystander just looking.
Yeah.
But that's the key. People will suffer, but it don't have to be you. It don't have to be you and audience just looking at this video. But that's how you get rich in the recession. You prepare when times are good. Don't go because you have FOMO and say, "Oh, everybody's buying real estate. I see it all over social media. I gotta go buy it, and I don't know what to do." When times are good, you want to be sitting there gaining all the knowledge. You want to get all the tools in your tool belt to know how to do conventional finance, how to do non-QM financing. You want to know how to do seller finance. How you want to know how to do subject to. You want to start getting your maintenance people in line. You want to start getting your insurance brokerage in line. You getting all that stuff in line. So when that opportunity comes, because the opportunity is always going to come. When that opportunity comes, you're so prepared. The only thing you got to do is point and click, point and click. Learn how to write deals, especially in real estate. If you talk about the stock market, learn how to analyze what a stock is actually worth. Do all that. Just sit and wait. Warren Buffett says it best. The stock market and the real estate market, for that matter, is a transfer of wealth from the impatient to the patient. That's it. That's all this game is. If you're patient and wait, you will get wealth. You will get rich. You will take advantage of a recession. But if you just sitting there like a bump on the log, like, yeah, I can't wait till they tell me it's a recession, then I'm gonna start learning on what to do. Your time has passed. You better be prepared than surprised. Always prepared. So the reason why me and Alex is always on this channel talking about, oh, we can't wait for a recession, we can't wait for the stock market to drop, because we're prepared for it. If it drop and we don't have no money to take advantage of it, we just hope the market just keep on going up like everybody else. The only way you can be prepared to win in a recession, because you get rich. Most wealth is built in a recession. Most wealth. Because there is enough dummies out there that did stuff wrong that's going to give you the money in a recession. But you have to be prepared to receive that money and to do the things you need to do to capitalize on that money. But if you don't, then you're sitting there just like everybody else. Oh, I wish I would have caught that. Alex over here saying, oh, I wish I was 18 back in 2009. I mean, I mean, sorry, Alex, you still had a beer born in 2009. Sorry, you can't participate in this game. But that's what happened. And I hear it all the time. Oh man, you were so lucky you found those properties in Florida in 2016. The recession started in 2009. I didn't start buying in Florida in 2016. So that means from 2009, 2012 to 2015, didn't nobody do nothing. And then I show up on the scene, and then I was able to get whatever the hell I wanted because I was prepared. That's the crazy thing. Battle is what you got.
Yeah. There's I mean there's definitely opportunities like and like you said too, the stock market is not a reflection of, the economy. Um, but the housing market, correct me if I'm wrong, but the housing market is a reflection of the direct economy or the recession going on in today's day. Um, and the way to look at it, and I like how you explained it in another video, but in the stock market, it's what 89% of investors are big investors, or 89% of the capital in the stock market comes from big institutions and investors. So they're controlling the whole market. They're going to do whatever they want with that market. In the housing market, you have a mix of investors, but you also have homeowners and middle class families and things of that sort. And so when you see in a recession, people having short sales, foreclosures, things of that sort, you see the direct pain from those families. You can tell that they are in a recession. In the stock market during recessions, and you can see this with like the charts from, historical in the past, you can see that in the recession, yeah, there was a dip. And then during the recession, the market's recovering, the stock market is recovering. So that initiation, there's that dip because there's that widespread panic amongst lower class, middle class people, and they're selling off. And then that dip gets bought up by the rest of the 89%, the people that control the market. And you want to be following those footsteps in those markets. You want to be looking at what the bigger guys are doing in any market. And that's where opportunity is created. And it doesn't have to be a recession to indicate that there's going to be hard times. In any hard time, there's going to be opportunity. So it doesn't have to necessarily be a quote unquote recession. Whenever there's hard times or pullbacks in any market, that is when you want to look for opportunities. Like you said with the Dutch Bros stock, or there were several other stocks that we bought that have now doubled, tripled. Meta being one of them. Or I know your story with Bank of America back in the recession. I mean, Bank of America at $4 a share. That's why I wanted to be 18 back in 2009. So that's just, I mean, those are insane prices, and you have to look for those opportunities. And that's why we always say, and we said in another video previously, prepare before the recession comes. In good times, that is the best time because now you have the capital to when those bad times happen, you're not stuck. Because if you're sitting on capital and then a recession or hard times come and prices have dropped outside, not for you. Maybe if you're holding assets, okay, maybe the equitable value has dropped. But if you're holding capital, you're going to be getting in at the low price. You're not holding at the top and then it dropped and then you're trying to scramble and grab what you can at the bottom. You're getting in and entering at the bottom. So that's where the money is made because then on the come up, once markets recover, you start to see the returns on that. So there is definitely, it's always, opportunity is always there when there is hard times, rarely when it is good times.
Right. And the last thing I'm gonna leave people with is the emotional aspect of it. The emotional aspect of it. Now let's rewind back to 2009. March of 2009 was the biggest outflow of retirement funds in the stock market or in the retirement funds. That's when most people sold. That's when the most of the mom and pop people sold their retirement funds. Coincidentally, that was the bottom of the market. And like you said, the big guys were just buying it up because the reason why the big guys are so much better at this game because they don't use emotion. So mom and pop, you just saw the stock market drop from 10%, 20%, 30%, 40%, 50%. Then when you get to 50% and you got $3 left in your 401k, you want to say, oh, I want to sell it now so I don't lose my last $3. You ain't want to sell it when you had your $1,500 or $2,000 in there. But now you want to sell it when you got $3 left. I mean, it's amazing that the biggest outflow in retirement funds and 401ks was in March of 2009, and that was the bottom of the market. And most people didn't get back into their retirement accounts until 2012. But from 2009 to 2012, the stock market already doubled by then. So you missed out on all of that appreciation because you fear. Understand, and I'll say this and I'll keep saying this to the end of time. Whatever you feeling, do the opposite of it. Of course, I know when the stock market, when the stock is down or retirement fund is down bad, it's fear like, oh my God, I'm gonna lose it all. But you have to flip that switch and say, now this is my time. Just in the inverse, back in July, and Alex, me and you talked about this the other day. Back 2009, oh, I'm on the wrong stop. Back in, I said 2009. Back in July of this year, market's at its all-time high. And you seeing the retail mom and pop investor, now they want to learn about what investing is. Now they want to throw their money in at the top because they think it's just going, oh, it's just going to keep going up. It's just going to keep going up. And I was saying, this is when I'm shoring up my finances for the next dip. A dip is going to happen. I don't know when it's going to happen, but this is where I'm shoring up my finances. When I start seeing the market in euphoria territory, you know, the ideal is, oh yeah, it's going to keep going. But now a switch just flips. Now you have to do the opposite. It's euphoric. The market's going up. Portfolio looking nice, going up thousands upon thousands of dollars a day. Now make sure your finances are shored up so when they come down, you can take advantage of it. You know, make sure you living at the lowest monthly payments that you can live. Make sure you got all the consumer debt out of the way. Even if that means trimming stocks to make sure it happens. Make sure you're getting all that stuff done because when it comes down, you want to be deploying all the capital that you have coming in back into the market. But people do the literally the exact opposite. They fear, they sell at their most primal fear and pain. Then when it's so euphoric, then everybody want to jump in like it's a Ponzi scheme. And then of course, soon as they start jumping in, the big guys see people jumping in and the market's euphoric, then they start selling off their positions. I do exactly what the big guys do. I don't use emotion in it. When I'm human, so I feel it, and then I know flip the switch and do the opposite. Even when this drop was happening here, we was already before we even got up to 565 or 5,300 on the S&P 500. I've already been talking to my family like, all right, make sure all the finances short up, make sure everything's good, make sure we got, extra, emergency funds for the different businesses and rental properties and all that. Because from here on out, when this thing go down, everything is going into the market. And for my family, it's just like a flip of the switch for us. When they say it's go time, it's go time. Everything else stop and it's go time. And we're not doing everything stop because we scared that we're gonna lose money. No, we are happy that we get an opportunity. That's how we look at it. But most people don't do it, and that's why the most mom and pop investor they think the stock market is a gamble. No, it's your emotions is the gamble, and that's why you're losing. But I'll stop there, Alex.
So that being said, guys, if you have any questions or comments, let us know down below. Don't forget to like this video, share, subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next one.